المشاركة الثالثة حول التعليم خلال أزمة كوفيد في الصين، كوفيد 19 في الصين، من زميلنا عادل السرطاوي ودعاء محمد إسماعيل غوشة وإيمان نجار. المشارك في إلقاء البحث اللي هو عادل فايز السرطاوي، وهو مشرف تدريب تربوي في المعهد الوطني للتدريب التربوي في وزارة التربية والتعليم الفلسطينية، وباحث ومؤلف تربوي، محاضر جامعي غير متفرغ، وطالب دكتوراه تعلم وتعليم. تفضل أستاذ عادل بيان مشاركتك معنا في المؤتمر اليوم.
شكرا دكتور. طيب خلينا نعمل مشاركة.
رجاء نلتزم بالوقت أستاذ عادل،
إن شاء الله.
الوقت صار حرج.
إن شاء الله ولا يهمك. شكرا طبعا في البداية لجميع المنظمين لهذا المؤتمر الرائع، وأنا حبيت تكون مشاركتي باللغة الإنجليزية مع وجود كل جزئية منها باللغة العربية للزملاء حتى تكون مناسبة للجانبين. So this presentation is bilingual to suit all attendees of this great conference. This research and the presentation was conducted within the course of advanced readings in international educational systems within the courses of PhD of Learning and Education program at Najah National University, and was conducted under the supervision of Dr. Saad Afoni and Professor Daniel Burgess on the second semester of last year. Me and my colleagues Dua and Iman النجار, we participated in this study. Study questions. What are the main features of the education system in China, and what is the most prominent measures that are taken by China to continue education in emergencies, which is caused by the corona pandemic COVID-19? And what is the plan that enables China to continue education when any other emergency occurs? And finally, what are the proposed scenarios of the harmonization of the emergency education plan for the state of Palestine? Why China? We ask this question because China has realized the importance of continuing education in light of the emergency caused by corona. And although China was the first country to be exposed to the invasion of the coronavirus, it was able to take practical and immediate measures to continue the educational process in light of the interruption of schools and universities by adopting distance education system. Also, China is one of the leading countries in education, and it has emerged to the top in PISA tests in recent years. As China, the most experienced in education in light of the corona crisis. Hence, we decided here to study the experience of education in China before and during corona in order to analyze this experience in light of developing a plan to ensure the continuation of education when any other emergency occurs, as our colleagues and the professors mentioned previously, and to develop a vision of how this plan is adapted to the conditions of Palestine and to propose the necessary policies of that. Characteristics of Chinese educational system. The education system in China is the largest education system in the world. This system works in an integrated and continuous way with the private sector to reform education. Several books and one approach. Training teachers to employ e-learning. We want to point out here that China had established previously e-learning at schools and universities before corona pandemic. of course, like other countries, in spite of China was the first country to be exposed to the coronavirus crisis that affecting hundreds of millions of Chinese students in all grades, China dealt with this crisis quickly, and it succeeded in February 2020 for the first time in history in enrolling hundreds of millions of students in schools levels and universities in distance learning. And Chinese government launched an educational policy for emergencies, which aimed to control the spread of epidemic by closing schools and universities and all educational establishments, and switching to online education. In this slide, this is important one. Some researchers from the World Bank developed a plan for countries around the world to deal with this crisis through 3 cyclic approach, as we see in this figure, which shows stages for education in emergencies. In prepare, the country must be ready previously for a crisis and to make plans to in preparation to face the crisis. On our topic here, this is the most difficult stage for China, because China was the first country in the world that faced the virus. However, China has doubled its efforts to prepare for the emergency for education. In second stage, in COPE, how to deal with the crisis after it happened, by taking several procedures. And this stage begins as soon as the emergency occurs. It forced Chinese authorities to close all educational establishments. This stage was overlapping with the prepare phase, the first phase, because the system coped with the crisis in order to reduce the negative effects of the pandemic. And recover, it comes in the end of the emergency. As societies move to emergency recovery mode, also governments implement policies and procedures to compensate for the lost time, especially at the schools. This slide pointed out about risk management. In prediction and early warning, Chinese authorities coordinated with the Ministry of Information Technology to mobilize all telecommunications service to enhance the internet connection service. In impact assessment phase, China closed the schools and adopted distance learning. In recovery and reconstruction, they made adjustment to the scholastic year calendar and allowed students to continue distance learning. In mitigation and prevention procedures, China took measures to gradually restore life to be normal while continuing to adopt flexible and appropriate methodologies to facilitate learning. Here, a proposed plan for education in emergency in China. We would say a plan for the bright future whose belong to those prepare for it today. And this is a proposed plan for education in light of emergencies, which includes goals and procedures at the administrative level of the ministry, universities, and schools, the necessary resources and indicators of success for the plan. Of course, there are an integrated 4-page plan in our study, and this page is presented as an example. Here, proposed policies for China. We're talking about content, motivation, research, communication, and evaluation and scaling of policies. Finally, we put some suggestions for education in emergencies in Palestine based on Chinese experience. On the government level, policies that enable Palestine to align with technological development and emergencies, environmental analysis, increase educational budget, and provide resources. On the Ministry of Education level, develop vision and mission to focus on e-learning and education in emergencies, building a school platform, e-learning projects, objects bank, and train teachers to design content. And finally, on universities level, adopt blended learning, share experiences, conduct research, and to evaluate content and to provide rubrics, and train faculty staff. Don't forget that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Thank you.